Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Hasbro Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel Legends Infinite Series Star-Lord. Star-Lord is one of the figures in a Build-A-Figure collection where you can build your very own Groot. In this case, Star-Lord comes with one of the arms needed to build Groot. He also comes with an alternate head, which is nice. Comes with a Walkman, and also comes with a couple of firearms, lots of other goodies in there as well. This comes to us from the folks over at Hasbro. Spot picked these up. I was actually lucky enough to pick the entire set from the folks over at Entertainment Earth. Unfortunately, these figures I could not find in stores, and one of the reasons why I just never got around to reviewing them. But I ordered and got the entire line from Entertainment Earth, so I'll provide that link certainly down below if you guys want to head over to their website. On the back of the package, there's Star-Lord with his unmasked alternate head. The read-up says, with a universe in peril, interstellar adventurer Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, assembles a ragtag team of cosmic misfits to defend it, the Guardians of the Galaxy. The entire set consists of Star-Lord. There's Gamora, Rocket Raccoon Drax, Marvel's Nova, and Iron Man. Those are the figures that you would require to build a Groot. And one thing that I like, at least with this particular wave, is that you didn't actually need to buy a second wave in order to finish the figure. All the figures here give you all the necessary pieces you need to build Groot. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. Again, I know it's been a while. Spot really should have had these reviewed earlier, but when we come back, we're going to start the reviews of the Groot Build-A-Figure series with the first figure, Star-Lord. So there's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. When you get Star-Lord out of packaging, the very back of the packaging, let me just open this up, gives you a little read-up, actually I should say a little breakdown of what characters feature which piece to build Groot. Star-Lord, again, comes with the left arm, Gamora comes with the left leg, Rocket Raccoon with the head and torso, Drax with the lower torso, Nova with the right arm, and Iron Man with the right leg. Also, this is one of the few waves where the entire set, each figure had a corresponding build piece. Sometimes you get figures in Marvel Legends sets where, you know, two figures, maybe one figure, two figures don't come with any sort of accessory whatsoever, or any sort of piece, I should say, to build the figure. So this set, clearly you need to get every single figure, including like the likes of Iron Man and Nova, which maybe you might not have picked up if you were looking just to get the, you know, the Guardians, but you would need all of them to build Groot. Having said that, you could also have just gone on eBay and probably bought Groot completely assembled if you're not somebody that wants to go through the full motion of building him yourself. Spot loves building figures, so I definitely want to get all of them, and I also think the figures looked pretty decent. Excuse me. Having said that, the limb, oh, see what I did there. Going out on a limb, let's discuss the arm here that comes with Star-Lord. And again, that was a tree joke because the arm comes with Star-Lord. And actually, you know, it's a pretty good-looking piece. They've got... I'm curious as to why they've done like pieces like this. I guess because of the way it was tooled. But there's areas on the arm where it's a separate piece containing the roots as opposed to it just being one sculpted piece. Maybe for how flimsy that is, it was easier just to tool it and then peg it into the arm after the fact. I don't know. But really nice paint, really nice detailing. So you get the arm or limb for Groot. Moving that to the side, we will of course revisit that more so as we get the figure built. Other accessories that come with Star-Lord, you get yourself not one but two blasters. And again, some very decent looking paint. It's kind of like a gunmetal gray. And then there's a little bit of the gold on the inside there, on the top and the bottom area of the blasters. But you get two of them, and you can put them into his arms, into his hands. They fit very easily. Of course, one top part is the trigger area, so you want to make sure that's facing up. You know, this would be facing up, this would be facing down. So you want to just make sure you got that facing up. And there you have Star-Lord with blasters in check. Now, him holding the blasters aren't so much an issue. They're a little loose, but he still holds them. My real problem comes to the arms, but I'll get into that in a second. There you have Star-Lord. For your consideration as well, Star-Lord also comes with a little tape deck. Let me just put Star-Lord down for a second. Just like so. And his little tape deck. Little small, minuscule little tape deck. Other than really the one coloring that it was cast in, it doesn't have any other paint to it. But that would be the front. I'm assuming that would be the back. It also has a number 2 on the back there. And it doesn't look like there's anywhere on him that you can peg. I'm just looking at him. No, there doesn't look to be any place where you can actually peg that the little Walkman. Unless I'm missing something. Now, Spot did also the review of the larger Star-Lord that had the lights and sounds, and there was actually an area where you could have pegged, you know, the Walkman. He sadly doesn't seem to have it, unless I'm missing something. Doesn't seem to have it on an area on him where you can peg it in. Putting that to the side. He does also come with a little Walkman headphones that you can put onto him with his mask on. Or you can also put it on him with the mask off. And you can be listening to some tunes. Now, let me come clean about something here. Spot's reviewing these figures, but truth be told, I haven't even seen the movie yet. He does also come with this, and I think this is a holographic emitter. I might be wrong. If it is, I'm sorry. It comes with like a little, I think it's a little holographic emitter, if I'm gauging that right from the trailer. It comes with that. I guess really the largest accessory is the alternate head that he comes with. Depending on your preference, you might want Star-Lord with the mask on or without. But it's a simple fix. Just take his torso, pop it off, comes off very, very easily, and then put on his alternate head and snaps into place. Now, here's the thing. I know with Marvel Legends especially, when you get movie property figures, do they look like movie versions of the figures of the characters? Not necessarily. I got a little piece of plastic right on his chin area there. Does it really look a lot like him? Not necessarily. For it to fit into a Marvel Legends scale, like if you were to compare this with, say, what you could have gotten with like a NECA figure. NECA is a more realistic approach to a figure line. Having said that, you know, you would want this figure still to fit in with your other Marvel Legends, and Marvel Legends as a whole have a very comic book look to them. So while it doesn't really necessarily look like what was Chris Pratt, you know, it's again a Marvel Legends version of him, so I can understand, you know, the reasoning why. It's not 100% a great likeness of him, but it looks good enough as a Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord. Now, the one issue that you probably have seen me playing with the whole review here is these arms. I am not a fan of these arms at all. The way they've sculpted the arms, let me bring the camera in here for a second. The way they've sculpted the arms, and they've given him a really big and bulky sleeve, obviously because he's wearing like a jacket. They've given him a really big and bulky sleeve, but because they've tooled it the way that they have, there's a section on the arms that don't connect to anything. If I turn the arm around, you can see like the only thing that's connecting this arm to the top of the arm is the elbow, which normally wouldn't be so bad. But because that's the case, it feels like it actually isn't even properly pegged into the arm, into the elbow socket. It feels like it's a separate loose piece. And you can even see like the quality issues of that arm where it's not, there's so little of that arm that's connecting itself to the rest of the body. Like you can even see when I'm moving the arms how loose and disjointed they are from the rest of the body. Now granted, you're not probably going to be bending the arm this way. You're probably just going to be bending the arm back and forth, and it serves the purpose it needs to serve, but it's just a really, it's a really sloppy way to get from point A to point B. The end result is a bend in the elbow, but it feels really badly put together. As for the rest of the figure, you know what? It looks really good. I like the coloring of his jacket. They've put a bit of a darker wash on it, giving it kind of that look that it's aged and he's had the jacket for a while. It's not a brand new jacket he's just bought and he's put on. Yeah, it's a good looking piece. Sculpted even down below, it's a decent looking sculpt. The overall looks good. But then when you start looking at, again, individual things like arms, it's just really badly put together. On the underside, he still has all the articulation that you would come to expect with a Marvel Legend, and it's the newer Marvel Legend articulation too, so it doesn't rely on you swiveling and rotating the leg to move the leg out. The leg can still do it, though hindered a lot by the trench coat that he's wearing. For your articulation, by the way, Star-Lord does have a ball joint in the head. Now, let me just pop the head off here and show you guys. As I mention always in videos, the different joints in figures, this would be a hinge ball socket joint. In other words, original figures used to have just this, which when you put the head on, the head could rotate and theoretically rotate up and down. But as you probably saw with a lot of ball joint only figures, the head probably could not rotate up and down too much, mostly just this way. By putting the hinge on there, you still get the full movability and posability of the head, like so. But because it's on a hinge, it allows that head to move a lot further down, theoretically, and a lot further back than what you would normally with a ball joint. When it comes to heads, especially, ball hinge joints are probably the best way to go, just because you do have a lot more posability in the head back and forth, while still having the full movement at what you would expect with a ball joint. When it comes to the shoulders, his shoulders are also on a ball hinge joint, except the ball joint is sitting inside the socket as opposed to being exposed like the head. He has a rotation in the bicep. He has a double bend in the elbow, but again, I would say even like moving it too much like this, I would worry that might break, because again, it's just a very thin piece of plastic connecting forearm to bicep, and that's all it does. So I worry a little bit about that. As for his hands are also on a ball hinge joint, so they rotate back and forth, but they also rotate all the way around from that ball joint. When you get to his torso does have an upper crunch, though it's really limited by the strap. Like he's got this bag on his around his waist, which I guess really, if you wanted to, do a little finagling, get this shoulder, and then you could just drop it all the way down off his legs. So if you didn't want to have it on there, you could really remove it if you wanted to. As for the waist does have a swivel, which I'm actually surprised that the swivel is underneath the belt as opposed to above the belt. Legs do go forward, back, out. A nice swivel in the thigh, a nice double bend at the knee, which again is really somewhat problematic because you're not really going to get a full movement of the knee unless you bend the top of the knee first and then bend the lower part of the knee. And then as for his foot is also on a hinge ball joint. So it rotates, not that you would want to do that with Star-Lord, but you can rotate the feet back and forth and up and down. So posing the guy is not so much an issue. I suppose a display stand also would have been a nice added touch, something that they could have included, but Marvel Legends don't tend to have a lot in the way of display bases. That's something that you probably tend to find more so with the Marvel Select figures. With Marvel Legends, you're generally getting more just in the way of accessories. Decent figure, though don't like these. I don't like the arms at all. How they could have fixed it, I really don't know. Maybe they could have beefed up. They almost could have even beefed up the joint right here. Like they could have almost made this area, instead of really, really thin, they could have thickened it up a little bit. It might not have meant as much articulation, but the trade-off would be at least you wouldn't have as flimsy of an arm. For your rating, Star-Lord's decent enough. I like the paint. The sculpt's decent, just not crazy on the arms. I'm going to give Star-Lord a 7.5. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Groot series Build-A-Figure wave. Today we're having a look at Star-Lord. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have the reviews of the remaining Guardians of the Galaxy. Those will definitely be coming your way. And we will also be building ourselves Groot. Thanks for watching, as you always do. Let me know down below if you guys have had a chance to pick up these figures, and if so, what you guys think of them. And in the meantime, I'll see you next time.